ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch, interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality. Hey, Royal TV viewers, your voice matters, and now we want to hear it louder than ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch, interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality. Hey, Royal TV viewers, your voice matters, and now we want to hear it louder than ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch, interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality. Hey, Royal TV viewers, your voice matters, and now we want to hear it louder than ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch, interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality. Hey, Royal TV viewers, Your voice matters, and now we want to hear it louder than ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch. Interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality.
Welcome, viewers of Cross Views on Royal TV. You're welcome to another edition of your favorite program. Tonight we have two topics to discuss on. We shall be looking at the first topic, the introduction and intensification of surveillance camera at examination halls throughout the nation. As far as GC will be going on, that is what we'll be looking at. Then secondly, we shall be looking at the slogans that were used during the Unity Day celebrations. How impactful, or were they just formality? Because there are times we understand that these slogans, they are written, they are meant to impact lives, they are meant to change things. But it is like it has just become a formality where people who even carry these banners, they don't even know what they are carrying and how does it even impact their lives. So those are the two topics we shall be discussing on tonight. At this time, dear viewers, before we get into this topic, let me introduce the gentlemen we have in the house. Kikishi Kenneth, you are welcome to Cross Views tonight.
Thank you, Moderator Mambo, and greetings to my fellow panelists here in the studio and the Royal TV team that is trying to maneuver the machines for our panelists, our viewers out there to watch the program. I give them kudos, and to our viewers, televiewers in their numbers and thousands, I want to say hi, greetings to all of you out there.
Of course, thank you so very much. At this time, Chetata, you are welcome to Cross Views. Chetata is a journalist with the municipal update. You are welcome to Cross Views tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Molama. It's a pleasure, like always, to be on set Cross Views, where we seek to educate the masses by sharing on our opinions about contemporary issues surrounding the nation. It happens to be that this particular edition we're having today falls at a time where the continent, and why not the world over, joins the continent to celebrate Africa Day, May 25, a day instituted to celebrate Africa unity, the struggle for, should I call it, independence. Many years after the colonial masters left, the continent has still remained under the grip, and so we are celebrating the integrity of the African man. We are celebrating the quest for freedom, because I think Africa is still not free. We are celebrating the desire, the cause for unity, because Africa has remained divided, maybe more than the white man met it and left it many years ago. We are also on set just hours after Joseph Owona took over as head of Cameroon's National Olympic and Sports Committee. That's following the demise of Karl Kaba Malboum, who died weeks ago. So we believe it's a fresh start, and I think we're on set at a very crucial time in Cameroon's democratic process and the evolution of the nation, where we are talking about the creation of villages. That's one topic that has animated social media throughout the weekend. and even papers this morning carried it. The creation of a village in Bengui, that's in Momo division of the Northwest region. Bengui Tegenibi, I hope I get the pronunciation right. It's remained very controversial. And maybe I should just say that the creation of villages is one aspect that is setting confusion, and the past that bill would have to review it. Left to me, I think like the Bible, that the final full stop on the Bible has been placed. If we need other means to bring administration closer to the people, we can create more subdivisions. But creating more villages in the long run would affect even the state, because mind you, the state got its authority from these traditional institutions. So I think this is something the past that we have to look into.
Yeah, we will still be coming to that topic maybe in the days ahead, because we discussed on it a few weeks ago. But now, if I should ask you, you just talked of it might affect the states, but we understand that instead we are expecting the creation of more administrative units. And I think if villages should also be part of those administrative units.
Right. I don't so much buy that idea. A village is not primarily an administrative unit. A village has a cultural undertone.
Yes.
A village is built on a heritage. So when we mix village to this administrative unit, I think we'll be missing a lot of things, because there's a spirituality, there's a cultural heritage.
And we are told that the head of the village is part of the administration.
Well, these are the evolutions that have come with the modern state in Cameroon, and we are embracing it. But I think when we go around creating these villages, the first thing is that it will bring conflict. We've already seen the conflict, and if the conflict has started, it means so long as such a village exists, there would be permanent conflict in Momo, and so the state will, and imagine when all of these villages are created across the national territory, the state would have a hard time resolving conflict. The next issue we have is that the traditional institutions will be undermined. I tell you, if villages keep on being created like this, in the next 10 years, someone will pass on the road, they say he's a chief, you say, and so what? Remember, the chiefs were made auxiliaries of the administration because the administration considers them to have powers. So if they are now disregarded by the community, it means that even the administration would find it difficult to interact, to better govern the population.
Okay, really, we shall be coming to that in its entirety. At this time, let us welcome Obasi Humphrey. You are welcome to Crossviews.
Thank you very much. Again, it's a pleasure again to be here. Royalty on Crossview to discuss on pertinent issues that concerns our nation and the development of the state. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. At this time, Sinjo Armstrong, you are welcome to Crossviews after some time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Special good evening to KK, special good evening to Mr. Obase, which of course, I should be sharing the platform with him for the very first time. And a very splendid good evening to my brother here. Good evening to our televiewers. Sincere apology for not being for the program for quite some time. Professional exigency held me down, but thank God I'm able to make it today. Mr. Moderator, sincere apologies to you as well. You know, it has been long that we have not been here. I think it should be 3 weeks. We're getting to a month now. I just want to seize this opportunity to congratulate those who receive medals and the Just 20 Medal celebration that we witnessed. That was on Wednesday. Congratulations to them. I mean, it's a hard work. They have been committed into their various areas of discipline, promoting peace, some in development, some changing lives and changing communities. And I will also end to extend special congratulations to the founder of Babogo, His Royal Majesty Fondo Fanzo Fund III, of course, who also doubled as the Secretary General at the House of Chiefs of the Northwest Regional House of Assembly. Congratulations to you for a well-deserved medal. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, distant viewers. Before we take that topic where we shall be talking, on the first topic, we shall be talking on the MINSEC, that is the Ministry of Secondary Education, and the Cameroon General Certificate of Education Board, GC Board, introduce and intensify surveillance camera to curb examination malpractices. So we want to have your contribution on that. So let us have these reports on that topic. When we come back, then we'll start touching on it.
Every June, thousands of young Cameroonians see the GCE. Every July, we celebrate results. But every year, we whisper the same questions. How many of those A grades were bought, leaked, or copied? Examination malpractices is no longer a secret. It is an industry. And if the GCE loses credibility, Cameroon loses more than certificate. We lost trust in merit itself. So we ask, what went wrong? What's being done? And what must be done? The Ministry of Secondary Education and the Cameroon General Certificate of Education Board recently came out with strategies to intensify the fight against examination malpractices. The introduction and intensification of the use of surveillance camera is seen as a solution to examination malpractices. But this cannot be enough strategy. When a question paper leaks at 2 a.m., when an invigilator sells answers for 50,000 francs, when a candidate hires a mercenary to sit the GCE, we call it examination malpractice. That is a lie. It is not malpractice. It is economic sabotage. It is intellectual fraud. It is the slow assassination of Cameroon. And if we do not name it correctly, we will never punish it correctly. Imagine the candidate who buys paper 2 or paper 3 becomes the medical student who cannot diagnose malaria. He becomes the engineer who approves a collapsing bridge. He becomes the magistrate who sells judgments. When teachers teach students to pass examination, not to give knowledge, and markers recycle predictable questions, we train a generation to memorize, not to solve. Then we wonder why we import toothpicks. Today, the Anglophone crisis has affected exams in general. In the Northwest and Southwest, cluster centers exist because schools were burnt. Desperate candidates copy to survive. But when those same candidates enter the civil service on fake merit, grievance tends to governance failure. The crisis feeds the fraud, and the fraud feeds the crisis. Looking at what examination malpractice causes Cameroon, this is not morality. This is about gross domestic product, GDP. The GCE is Cameroon's international currency. When Oxford, Cape Town, or Dakar doubts our A level, every legitimate Cameroonian graduate pays the exchange rate. Your child's authentic 3A grades is now worthless. We are printing certificates the world won't cash. A nation that cannot trust its exams, cannot trust its army, its pilots, its judges. Exam fraud is a national security breach. We screen for bombs at airports, but not for fraud in the civil service exams. To candidates, markers, invigilators planning to cheat, you are not cheating the education ministries, nor the GCE board, nor the state. You are poisoning the well your own children will drink from. To the state, your new measures are strong, but until you pay, equip, and inspire the school system, you are arresting the smoke while feeding the fire. GCE must be protected because when the exams fails, the nation fails.
Of course, GCE must be protected because when the exams fails, the nation fails. Because those who we are training as students will become the engineers tomorrow, the medical doctors. And so if they can't serve people, then the nation has to fail. at this time, I want to begin with, Tata, let me begin with you. You got that report and you understand the topic. When you got that, the GC board and the Ministry of Secondary Education, it is not today it started. They have been talking about this, and they did a trial in about 2 years now, or 3, and this time they have decided to intensify the surveillance camera. How did you receive this?
Mulam Mambo, thank you so much, and I think it's a very critical issue that defines our educational system, because the only measurement of our educational system, well, that's, I wouldn't say that, well, technically, the only measuring rod for our educational system are the exams, the quality of exams, and at least that's what we can practically lay hands on to say the students have understood the curriculum and this and that. Talking about the introduction or the present issues about exam malpractice, it would be good to say that exam malpractice is not a new phenomenon. It's age-old, it's like sin from the very days of Adam and Eve, and it has just evolved with changing times. Now with the advent of smartphones, it has become, the smartphones have integrated into this process, and now we have this cheating and exam malpractice being carried out on smartphones. And before I go further, the sector conference for the secondary education stakeholders in the Southwest region took place some days ago, and it would be good to note some statistics as regards the Southwest region, as disclosed by Dr. J. Martins, the regional delegate. He says over 500 schools are functional or are existing in the Southwest region, with 377 functional, while we have over 123 which are not functional. And we're looking at the General Certificate of Education. We are seeing that they will be sending thousands of students, with a drop this year in the Southwest region as compared to last year. This year, there's a drop of over 2,656 candidates as compared to last year. So there is a drop in GCE candidates this year, and I think it will be in best place to tell us what factors would have caused this drop in the number of students who will be sitting in for these certification exams at the level of the secondary education. Now, these exams have come under scrutiny. In fact, it became a point he mentioned across his presentation during that sector conference, saying, maybe I should start with his conclusion, that punishment was going to be meted on those that had been found guilty of being accomplices to exam malpractices. He talked about these centers, they will be suspended beginning next year, such that they will not handle these exam papers and the like. And so he says they had really gathered facts to show proof that this or that person was an accomplice. He also regretted that teachers are the ones in this whole
chain of malpractice.
Yes, in this malicious cycle. Teachers, some teachers, he said, would some who are even head of chief of center, they go and they remove papers. Once the papers are brought to them, they remove papers, and they are the ones, some of them even print out and distribute to these students. These are people who are to ensure that the exam is carried out with standard. They are instead the ones breaching the standards. They distribute the papers, and the students are revising ahead of examination. He even lamented that some teachers, especially male teachers, they promise the students papers, and they especially from the female students, some of them are being sexually violated by some of these teachers. And so it's really a deplorable situation we see. And so now the introduction of these surveillance cameras at first sight seems to be a relief, finally, a solution to this exam malpractice, but just how effective it will be in our context is what I have been worried about. And when this question was asked the regional delegate of secondary education during the second conference, he said he was going back with the stakeholders to brainstorm on how, what are the challenges? How many of these schools have electricity? Except there are other people who are more informed about this cameras. I know, first of all, it has to operate with electricity.
Yes.
What are we? So, how many of these schools have electricity? We have communities that have gone for months without electricity. So, imagine installing a camera that there will be no electricity for. So, what is the purpose? I think this examination is very important. But the level of our digitalization, it is true that the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, has been doing a lot. She's been preaching digitalization right from the first day she stepped into office. But we must agree that secondary education is far from being digitalized to an appropriate level. We don't have digitalization at that level. How many of our schools have computers? How many of the students in our schools know the basics of computers? How many of our teachers even know how to manipulate computers? These are the challenges. And so I think that this camera is a good idea, but maybe the context would not make it to thrive enough, would not make it to attain the intended objectives, because we have failure in power, we have shortage in power supply. I mean, let's not talk about the quality of the cameras. We remember some time ago they brought in some popular laptops that the laptops, people could not do much with it because the laptops did not have capacity. So you'd want to see some cameras would just be installed there for the sake of installation, and they will not, even if there's electricity, they'll not be able to have that monitoring. So I think it's a lot. It's a lot to go. It's a good idea, but maybe it's just not time for its effective application. We could go back to our conventional way of surveillance. We could go back to that way and see how much we can do by strengthening the processes which we already have, because I doubt how effective these cameras will be.
Okay, at this time, let me cross to my right. Kikishi Kenneth, you listened to that report and you got the information, the reform that has been made. And we felt that this is a great move from the Ministry of Secondary Education and the GCE board. What's your take about that?
My take is that surveillance cameras in the place of invigilators is an indicator that the situation has actually escalated to a level. When we are talking about examination malpractices, we are thinking about cheating, we are thinking about impersonation, we are thinking about bribery, we are thinking several other things that happen within an examination room or from students. It's a whole cycle. To run an examination is a cycle, from the setting of the questions by the chief examiners or the senior staff or maybe the experts in examination who manage exams, the examination board. And we are talking about registration of candidates. We are talking about even the final list that comes out after candidates shortlisted that, okay, you are qualified. We are talking about the proper day exams or the days before the examination, the move in the transfer of the transportation of examination papers, where they will, where those vans that are transporting examination papers may not have CCTV cameras to monitor what happens between the stockage room or the printing room, and you know that printing is a very delicate kind of thing where you must have some papers that are rejected. How do they control the reject? So we are not only seeing an examination room that will be where CCTV cameras will be installed, but we are also thinking the chain of the reactions and the stakeholders that are involved, whether they will monitor them even from the house, because even for a cell phone, somebody can also detect the person who was printing the exam with out of the camera that has been suggested by the Minister of Secondary Education. Somebody can even use his phone to send a question that he saw, because the printing will not be done by blind people. And so whether they do it in China, it is still possible that leakages come from where the printing takes place. It's a good idea to bring surveillance cameras. But the other thing too is, who is who monitors the footage. Let me tell you, the Yaoundé city has one of the highest number of city cameras. At the middle of the central town, that is the highest spot in Yaoundé where crime wave takes place. And so there's a big question: who pretends that he's not seeing that a pickpocket has taken something or a car is being broken by a thief? So at the tail end, it's a good idea that falls short of some variables that we need to stress here so that the ministry understands the adjustment that they need to make. What has been the impact of surveillance cameras in our major towns? Because all major towns have surveillance cameras somewhere. Buea has. But have you ever seen, do you know who controls it? So the bribery is even that they will see me doing the wrong, and then they'll come to me, show me the image, and you ask me to pay. And I'll pay and I get off easy. So I'll still continue. So it's a game. In the case of the GCE, there are lots of challenges that, like that I was mentioning already. Internet connection in our towns, even the major towns where we can, do we have internet connection that can withstand those, that can easily make the surveillance cameras, the images to transmit it easily? No, we don't. Now, who pays the cost of it? Is it the students that will, parents are going to be charged with the burden of additional sums for registration? Is it the state? Is it the Ministry of Basic Education? We need to ask ourselves several questions. Because that is what justifies the sustainability. Now, we have situation where we have obsolete equipment in hospital. You go for operation, you cannot be operated because the equipment is obsolete. Or the fact that we buy transformers for electricity and within 1 month, the transformers are blown up. Is it not going to be the same thing with our cameras? Considering the fact that the energy sector in Cameroon, light is blinks, epileptic energy system where light cuts are dropped and they destroy a lot of electrical devices. Before we know it, maybe as exams are starting next week, we will already get into classroom where they are already they are not functional again because of the light, the power failures. When light goes off, it comes with maybe a variation in intensity. You come off with too much the voltage, very high voltage, and destroy our household equipment. Now it will be the same thing for surveillance cameras. Now, we are talking about it's problematic. We are not saying that it's not problematic, the cheating and the malpractices, because in 2025, several students and several invigilators were arrested in the back, in the GC, in the BPSA, all over Cameroon for cheating. And sometimes we warrant that the Ministry of Secondary Education or the examination holder provides proof of the malpractice, which now I will be saying that, okay, that device is actually necessary, so that you can actually say, okay, this is what you did. This is, you corrected a student or you let out the answers to a student copies. This is the proof. But the problem is the sustainability of that action. The other part of this is the legal part of it. Our law warrants that people are protected and safeguarded. Now there's a law that's breaking privacy, and you know who will be affected? Minors. It's coming with a trauma that we may not find. It will not be easy. So we're just seeing the big picture of bringing in integrity in an examination, but we do not see the effect, the direct effect on those who are writing their exams. The tension can be so high that it makes some children even to collapse out of just fear. Not that they are doing there are those who are planning to read the exams, or it puts a kind of disconnect between even the few invigilators that are in the hall and the students, because now you are afraid, you don't know what. Maybe you are not going through to be told what to get a true definition of the malpractice, and so you have to assist a student maybe to get something, because normally a student will find difficulty to see a word or so, and the student has to tell them, no, this is. You understand? Because in our examination setting, we used to have a lot of errors too, and let us admit that there are several printing errors on examination papers, and that students. Are the cameras going to? Are we going to have speakers going now? Instead of now the teacher talking directly to the student, it is now the central control system that will now tell the student that this is this, or even dictation and dictation that teachers
now,
are reading. And the teacher may read it too slowly and they say that he was helping the student by not using the normal speed. So there are lots of issues that are coming into play, which our children, our students are also very curious, are also very, they know the mission. Why are examination? Why are students being taxed? Why are you always the target? Are we going to put a cameras in finance? So somebody sitting in that room 288, where people drop this, or in public service this, so that he also checks what civil servants are doing. What is the tag? Why are they targeting the children?
Don't you think that? Don't you think that in every beginning of a successful process, there must be that difficulty, because we have places where we have surveillance camera, and we know places that don't even have money, as the GC board has, as the ministry have, they have been succeeding. Why do we look at it so difficult for the GC board? And the
no, we are looking at the sustainability.
Okay.
How are we going to sustain it? And we are looking at the other. We already said that it's a welcome idea. The problem is the sustainability
and the impact on the student direction. There's going to be a lot of tension in this agency because of the announcement of surveillance cameras. Okay.
And it would have been even something that would have been better to be done silently without students knowing it. And then that's how it was going to work better. Because it's going to create a lot of tension in children who are writing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you are making mention of the cost. We are simply just asking who's going to pay the cost. Because next year, you realize that the amount of GCE examination will be higher because of the cost that these people are bearing, the cost of being in surveillance camera. Okay. And I'm saying again that the greatest challenge in Cameroon is not examination malpractices.
Okay.
The greatest challenge is about the public service malpractices or corruption or whatever you can say. The judicial system, they have to put cameras. The finance department, all ministries, they have to put cameras. And now the Cameroon will be clean country. You cannot stand by attacking children, little minors. That the people that have been doing the malpractices, the adults, like the teachers and the examination controls, invigilators. Yeah. Those are the people that we can punish for that kind of thing. The children. No, I don't think that it is important and necessary, but it is not a priority.
Okay, before I enter detailing with the follow-up questions, let me get your opinion, Sinjo Armstrong, since you got this information. I don't know how you reacted to it, so the viewers really want to know.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. In fact, I got the information. Is good. A good initiative. Installation of city cameras in examination halls is something that is very common now. Yes. Yeah, it's very common. It's good. The GC board and the MINSEC, they are not the first people to do this. We have other institutions across the globe that have been installing this, and it comes with so many advantages. The first thing is that psychological defeat on student. If student is aware that there is a camera watching you, it defeats them psychologically. That no, I don't have to fidget, I don't have to look left and right, I don't have to be talked to my benchmate to ask anything. So there is that psychological defeat. When you find yourself even in an office, that you see a camera, you already know that you are very conscious of everything that you say, every action that you do. Even when you even get to a compound that there's a white dog there, it is written there, beware of white dogs.
So before you enter
there, you are already defeated. So I think that is the first advantage, that we have this camera which is going to fight. Even the cameras are not working, which I know after 1 or 2 weeks, probably before the results, before they finish writing the exam, some of them will stop functioning. That is the system in Cameroon.
That is the question. So he talk of sustainability.
Voila. So I know that after some time, even before the GC end, they will start working. But again, let the camera be there so that that psychology of the student will be defeated already. And of course, another very brilliant advantage that we have as far as this installation camera is concerned is that it helps to the vigilators. You know, sometimes the vigilator and student, sometimes a vigilator aids student directly and indirectly.
Yes.
How do you mean that? At times, a vigilators might get into examination hall, and the vigilator is less concerned of the activities that is happening in the examination hall, maybe on phone. You know, at times that's what we find.
I think they are very strict
yes.
now on that matter of phone.
Yes,
they don't go into the invigilation.
Sometimes invigilators they don't concentrate in the examination hall,
okay.
Especially invigilators that after the examination hall. Let me take the situation, the scenario in Boya.
Yeah.
They will find themselves in some snacks, but be drinking. They will drink from that evening, and they forgot to understand that tomorrow they have to invigilate.
Okay.
That is a practical situation we have on ground.
Okay.
And the next morning they get to the examination hall to invigilate. They are dozing.
Okay.
So you see now, so that's why I said they help the student indirectly.
Okay.
Because it's not a direct act, but they find themselves being taken away by nature and they sleep, or they find themselves distracted and the student they are there fidgeting. So in that, the installation of city camera is also going to help the invigilator as well. Okay. Now, my question here, I don't see the installation of city camera as a panacea to examination malpractices, because most often at times we think that examination malpractices has to do only in the examination hall. No, it begins from our side.
Okay.
Let me just cue in from what Ms. Akikishi was saying. It begins from our side, and it begins from the moment of printing of that questions.
Yeah. We shall be coming.
And yes,
we shall be coming on the chain of examination malpractice.
Okay, chain of it. Okay,
the chain of examination malpractice.
Chain of it.
Now, the question I wish to ask, I don't know if I should put it the way somebody even asked that. In Cameroon, we have a problem of renovation, and someone just made a statement. That same GC board, when that structure was raised, you saw how it was, and now they cannot renovate. Then how is this one going to be a reality? Because when that structure was raised, you saw it. When you go there, you think that it's a place, maybe heaven on earth. But now when you pass there, you start asking whether it is that same GC board that you knew. So there was that question, like, if they cannot renovate, they cannot sustain the building that we knew, then what about it?
See, in as much as it's a very good initiative of installing camera, I'm not totally against it. But our problem in Cameroon is sustainability.
Yeah.
Continuity, a particular initiative, that is where the problem is. First, we have all what it takes. But the problem is, those at the head, do they actually deliver the real goods? Do we have the necessary, because he was talking about electricity.
Okay.
Those city camera needs to function with electricity.
Maybe we'll have generators, now, maybe they'll provide generators.
Generators are, when you go to GC board during a normal working days, most often when you, this is not something, I mean, it's a public place.
Yeah.
When you go there, there is no electricity in town. The generator most often at times is not working.
Okay.
So how do you want to expect? What is the cost of running a generator? It's very expensive.
Okay.
So do we say we are going to have generator in all the thousands of examination centers that we're going to have? It's practically impossible.
Okay, let me also get from you, Obasi Christopher. We'll have more than 1,000 or close to 2,000 examination centers. And talking of the introduction of this surveillance camera, how possible is it going to be? Because the first thing is, when I got this, I started doing some investigation. Is it the GC board that is going to sponsor this in all the accommodation centers? Then secondly, the number of halls, accommodation halls, and maybe also the environment and so on. Then I looked at it, how possible is it going to be? When at times they even complain of financial problem to even pay invigilators. So how do you look at this? How do you size it?
Mr. Mwambo,
Yes.
you need to know that we have a ministry called Ministry of Secondary Education,
Yeah.
and also a sub-director, which is the GC board. You need to know that every budgeting year, each ministry brings its budget in front of the parliament,
Yes.
and all that are being voted. And I think if you see the budget of the Ministry of Secondary Education, you will know that all these miscellaneous are being taken care of. So if they are trying to bring a worry that they will not, or they will not sponsor, it is a lie. It is a fatal lie, because everything has been budgeted. And the minister herself, Madam Naloba Lyonga, she introduced this since ever. So that means it is inside her budget, and that shows that she is capable of managing such
When you talk of budget, we know budget is not money that exists. Now, you see, along the line within the year, you find ministers start complaining why projects are not completed because of finances, why projects are delaying, what they expected.
Mr. Mwambo,
You see, so,
if Mr. Mwambo,
yes.
if the Ministry of Secondary Education or the minister herself
Yes.
did not introduce this, she would have not introduced it, because she knew that the government and her as a minister, they are competent to sponsor, to fund this activity of surveillance cameras
Okay.
in all secondary educations
Okay.
and examination halls. Okay. So that means there is already a planified budget for all this. Now I would like go into the malpractice and the rest. Malpractice is real. Now the Minister of Secondary Education in 2023, GC Chemistry Paper 2 was on WhatsApp 6 hours before the examination, and the minister tried to see how to capture all these people.
Yes.
That was in 2024. Over 47 cases they were impersonated because they were caught with they were caught
Materials,
with
yes.
prepared materials that were not accepted
Okay.
in the examination hall. And also sometimes this coming of this surveillance camera, it protects innocent students. You see Mr. Mwambo in a role or in a hall where they are writing exam, you see that if there is a supervisor try to catch one person doing malpractice, is going to penalize the rest of the students. So the coming of this camera is going to protect innocent students that are not involved in malpractice, in examination malpractice, so that if they want to accuse, they should accuse only the theft himself or herself. Yes.
Okay, let me come to you, KK. Now let us look at. I have touched the sustainability. Yes, we have talked on it, and the problem of renovation. Okay, the question I have here is the sponsorship of this thing. We should be careful here. It's very expensive because it is going to be thousands of cameras that have to be bought. Thousands of cameras. Then these cameras have to be placed. Then we don't know, maybe after that they have to be removed again, kept, taking care of these cameras for them not to get bad and so on. Because at times you are somebody who is good in technology. Maybe if you don't use these things, they get bad. So is it going to be kept for that long? So now let us look at the sponsorship of these things. Then I think sustainability is attached to it, because it has to be kept till the other year and so on. How possible?
As a member, I've always said on this platform that Cameroon is a theater of drama.
But we are talking on reality with our own context. That's what we are trying to analyze here. So anybody who has other details, you can call us, you can contribute through WhatsApp so that we have their contribution.
It's a drama stage that has been well said. But I'm happy with the move that the Minister of Secondary Education has taken.
Yes.
Reason being that the elections, all polling stations will now have cameras, CCTV cameras to control electoral malpractice. If this one is this one is if the examination malpractice can be sustained and checked through camera, it means that all sectors of community life will be checked now through camera. I will be in my house and my partner has to cameras. Rapists that they have cameras moving all around, we put cameras everywhere.
All
so that we do
centers.
things the right way. But let me ask you a question. You are asking a question of sustainability. Remember that the GCE, the Anglophone subsystem, introduced religious knowledge.
Okay.
And the government of Cameroon, though accepted religious knowledge in our in this subsystem, they refused that it cannot be used as an entry point to university, which was supposed to be a kind of moral code, a kind of integrity caution. We are not going to be teaching religion as in religion, but also as a moral, trying to bring in a code of ethics to train youngsters how to become upright and people of integrity and value. They did not recognize it. Now they are bringing surveillance cameras. And you are rightly saying that the number of examination centers shows that the cost of introducing this technology is going to be high, enormous. Yes, Mr. Obase is defends the minister so well that every ministry has a budget and that the minister could not be doing it out of his budget line, right? Yes. But we are talking about sustaining it, and now we are trying to look and compare the priorities of the ministry. When we look at the infrastructures, where students going for laboratory exams, science students do not have enough microscope or whatever, Bunsen burners and pipes to do titration, and then they are bringing in surveillance cameras to check students or their malpractice. How does it cost? The people that pass through this exam without using cameras, have cameras, what are they going to do? Are they going to wind the hand?
No, restart like the exam.
It is good, like I said. It is good if you can be sustained, but it also has different ramifications. And I'm saying that I am happy for the minister to have treated. I know politicians will be panicking as I'm talking now. All politicians in Cameroon will be panicking now as I'm talking, because I know that we are going to insist that surveillance camera be placed in all polling centers, where even in the ELECAM or Constitutional Council, where checking is
just a few seconds. We have somebody. Let's take this. Let's take this caller.
A new state for a new Cameroon.
Okay. Hello, please. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hello, I'm Joy from Boya.
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm talking with respect to the implication of surveillance to malpractice. Yes. I think the minister, that is not where the major problem is. In my opinion, the problem lies on the leakages that we have every year on the GCE, and we have not heard that teachers or those responsible have been locked up in Kondingi for such malpractices. So that's where the challenge is. So if they can focus on trying to curb examination leakages, that will be better. Thank you.
Okay, but this is one of the way of curbing examination leakages, because maybe when they start doing this, gradually they'll get to other sectors.
No, those sectors, it's not difficult to know where the leakages are coming from. We know how the channels of the exams are. How could students have university A, B, C? That is grievous. That's worse than a child cheating and taking one question or the other. So every year we have leakages, all the question papers are leaking. That's where they should even start, not on surveillance.
But Don't you think that we should be part of a good idea? We should support it?
Yes. Well, you see part of it, but the major thing is even sitting aside. That's the major thing. Thank you.
Okay.
I think they're doing well, but in my opinion, that is where it should start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we will still be expecting, but are you still there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay. Thank you. We'll still be coming back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yes, KKUFT.
I was saying that the introduction is going to warrant even the common man and other people. There are several problems that have almost brought Cameroon down, and the electoral change has been having a lot of problems. Either electoral malpractices has almost brought down Cameroon.
Okay.
The GC malpractice has never brought us down. The people who are caught cheating, we are taking without us knowing them. But most of our elections have always come with post-electoral violence, showing that something like this needs to be introduced. And that is why I'm saying that I'm really thanking the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova, for bringing an idea that other sectors of Cameroon should buy. What happens in the Douala port? Is it that they don't have CCTV cameras there? What happened in our airports? You see, what happened even in police or cells or in legal department? Is it that, so you see, every sector needs a CCTV camera. But I am looking, just like I buy the idea, I'm saying that it's going to be very traumatic for the city children. That so a majority of them are so ignorant and so innocent. Then they will be watching them as if they have become shame bandits. That is the idea that's the bad paint that they're painting. Some other people are saying that it is because foreign university did not have integrity in our exam because of this cheating, and so it has also one of the things that is pushing the minister to also that our certificate are not having credible recognition from those universities abroad because of cheating that takes place in Cameroon. Is cheating taking place there too? All the cameras that you have there.
Okay.
So
now let me come.
A good idea like this.
I don't know. Okay. Instead of okay, let me come now to you. Let's look at the chain of examination process right to the end, and let's see, because we are talking now of surveillance camera on the students, but other people have different ideas that all these malpractices begin somewhere else before it reaches student, because if it is not existing in those places, it cannot reach the student, and student will be very careful. Now we know some of these chains. We know the GC board has question bank that they recycle and so on. At times they add some. From there we have a group of teachers, examiners who select these questions. After selecting, now they have to set the exams, given the question that they have decided to take. After that, it is sent for printing. These questions start moving. Then maybe packaging and taking to schools. At times it sleeps in they put it the accommodation centers for days, especially those centers that are far off from the GC board and other offices of the GC board everywhere. Where do you think these leakages usually come from?
Right, I think
because nearly every year we know that something must happen. What do you think the problem is?
I think we would want to also compare with some certification boards across the continent, and why not internationally.
Yes.
But before I address this core issue of the chain, I think I want to react on some few issues. Number one, on the psychological defeat. It is true there will be psychological defeat this year, but I doubt that it will be effective next year. Because once the students, we are dealing with intelligent students, and once they find out that that camera is not working, next year, by next year,
never trust.
The news will be like, oh, the gist will go around. So we are not. It's gone those days that the white man put his eyeglass here and Africans are walking there. No, we're dealing with very intelligent students. That some of them will even trace those cables to see where because some of those cameras may not even be connected to any computer. It's just, the cable just empty in the room.
They are wireless cameras.
Yeah, there are some that are wireless, but others may just be there that they just, and the cables are just left loose in the roof.
I just
Right. And secondly, to talk about the budget of MINSEC, it would be good that we have some of this clarity. I remember, was it last year, this issue was trashed. About 3/4 of the secondary education budget is, of course, a very lofty sum.
Yes.
But over 3/4 is dedicated to payment of staff.
Okay.
Over 3/4 is dedicated to payment of staff. So the running costs of the other things that the ministry can do, yes, it is not as much as the burden of payment. So when we just see the amount and we say, oh, the ministry, it really get money, but when you go to the nitty-gritty, you discover that at the end of the day, the ministry is let me not say just barely trying to survive, but this is the case because they are just struggling to do this, do that, and we cannot be talking about an educational system. We don't have classrooms. I remember in Akwaya, they showed people in touch classrooms. We don't have classrooms. We're talking about cameras come on. It's just a joke. It's a fiasco. It will probably just end around Boya. Go to other places in Manu and the rest. They've not had even benches and the rest for people to sit for exams. You'll be talking about cameras.
But before you continue, while I was doing all this investigation, I got to one of the chief examiners. Although he was still doubting the fusion of this suggestion, but he says they may, if it will possible, they may use it in few pilot schools and those very large halls. For example, the BJS Moliko here in Boya. That is a hall that takes about, yes, it takes thousands of students. Maybe those are the kind of halls they may use.
And how many cameras will even be in that hall?
Maybe
because because when we look at the practicalities, a very large hall sitting like maybe 500 students, how many cameras? So if the camera is in front, they think that I'm behind here. That's even by the way. Let me comment on elections.
Yes.
I think that's my opinion anyway. Reading from the last presidential elections, I think election manipulation, the least where it is done is in the polling station. The real transfiguration, let me use that Bible term, the real transfiguration is when the results leave the polling station and starts to move from the divisional counting commission, starts to climb that ladder, and then by the time it gets to Yaoundé and then a council, is it the constitutional council, is reading it, the results have mutilated.
No, I suggested that you put throughout the chain. But remember that one of the areas where opposing political parties fail, is that they don't have procedure from those polling stations.
Yeah.
And so if there's a CCTV camera that detects the election and that they can track all the 15,000 or 30-something thousand polling stations, then they will know they can process.
Would Elekam want to give you that passage into such a data?
I think this issue of
let him be now let's look at this change that I was talking of, because we need to, just as so many people are saying, these leakages or these malpractices are not in the hall. It begins somewhere. It is the parents, it is the vigilator, it is the teachers, it is those who work in the offices who begin with it and give these students information.
Right.
So now, which chain of all these that I've given, where do you think the problem is?
From even the period where the questions are being selected.
Yes. Okay, good.
Some of these individuals that sit on the board, some of them are
teachers in schools.
Yes, they're teachers in these schools. They go back, some of them even proud to, if they're writing tomorrow, there are some teachers that are known that they are giving their revision that night. If you attend the revision this night, you say, and some of them may not actually tell you that this will come, but there are other ways.
On the topic.
Right. So I think it's a chain.
Yes.
That from when these people they go and do the vetting of the questions, and then the printing, and then now when there's a transmission, like I tell you, even the delegate accepts it. That some of these chiefs of centers they remove those questions from the envelopes. I remember when I was writing the GC, they brought the envelope and they said, "Oh, it's." But If for some subject the chief of center does not bring that, the students will not go and riot that, oh, they have not come and presented the questions for us to touch to see if the paper has not been opened. So these papers could be opened by the person, because some of these things are kept in the center there. In the night, he could open it. Like I was talking about the cases that they even sleep with some, they sexually abuse some girls,
Yes.
to either give them copies of these papers that have been printed. They have evidences that some of these papers were even photocopied by these chiefs of centers, photocopy
I think
GC examination
yes.
papers and distribute. And this distribution may be sometimes for financial reasons. Other times, you know, this issue of 100% percentage and the rest. Sorry to say, but most of the times for some of the mission schools,
Yes.
some of these malpractices thrive there because people are fighting to maybe meet up so that we have 100%. We do this. Some of them maybe in the black market may even be buying some of these questions. So I think one is the chain, but the greatest problem happens now in the course of those papers being kept after they've been dispatched from the DC board. These chiefs of centers and other people that constitute the board that look over these papers the night before these papers are being presented to the students. I think that is where the greatest problem, because you would hardly see a GCE paper leaking 2 weeks before time. You could only maybe see a question, but the papers is always that night before.
Okay.
You see, even usually when students, they go and pay money to access paper, they tell them that the questions will be available at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you're writing history at 8, the questions at 2 a.m. in the morning, it means it is that night that the greatest leakage.
And the meeting points will be communicated to you.
Yes, and things will become, especially now with the social media, it's even faster. You just need a WhatsApp group. This is forwarded to this person that has paid, and it goes.
Okay, yes, oversee.
I want to talk on the originality or how my practice is being originated.
Yeah, let's look at this chain. I really want to, because this chain is very important. Let's handle this chain.
Mr. Mwambo,
where does it really?
Mr. Mwambo,
Yes.
you can't camera a way of a student to competence, especially when it comes to GC board, a GC examination. 42% of class 6 kids in Cameroon can't read and write.
According to which statistics?
Excuse me.
Your source?
Even can't read sentence. According to Padek.
Okay, wait.
Padek,
Your
this, let me
But
finish.
my problem is
Pasek,
Pasek. My problem.
No, I will not
let
sit
us-
down here and
let
go
us-
statistics
Wait,
and go.
please. I'm
Pasek,
coming. My
Pasek.
problem is let us handle this
My junior
chain.
sister in class 3 reads.
Please. I'm coming.
I said 42%.
Wait, please.
I did not say 100%.
Wait. I'm coming to something, dear viewers. Let's go gradually. All this, I have some questions here that all this will come. But okay, Sindo, let me come to you. Let's look at this chain that from setting of the questions from the question bank right to the printing and transfer to centers. Where do you think this problem begins?
Okay. This program has a whole lot of change.
Yes.
Just like before, phones need to be siphoned.
Because the information we have is that they have
Yes.
started getting that some of these people that they trusted, these teachers, these examiners, are the ones in charge of this.
Yes.
You understand? Because they are the ones who set these questions.
Yes.
And so they know the angles where they have set this question, and they know the questions. And so these questions are selected now.
Yeah.
They know the questions that they have selected. Then they send them for printing. First of all, when they have done this, it is kept until when they prepare for printing.
Okay.
Then
Now,
after that,
now, like I was trying to say, it is very difficult to have it at a level of setting, given my own understanding
yes.
how it function, because this is what happened. Each year, they are marking the GCE. Before the teacher finally closes the GCE,
Yes.
they submit questions, proposals.
Yes.
Okay, they leave. Then now, I think the chief of examiner will meet again within a period of a year again. Let me say between March, I don't know, the period of year. The chief of examiner of a various subjects.
Yes.
They'll have to meet. They'll have to select maybe about three 3 per
They have to
issue.
select the
Yes,
question.
they
They
say
have to select
questions.
the question.
Then they leave. Now, the truth is that when they select about three, because each year there are 3 certain A, B, C.
Yes.
That each year, each examination year,
Yeah.
A, B, C. Out of those 3 that were chosen by the chief examiners, that be submitted to GC board. GC board randomly picks, I think, amongst these certain. So the truth is that the chief examiner do not know exactly who setting is coming, who they are going to be printed by the GC board, because it's not like the chief examiner say this is what we want to be written. So they just randomly gives them in a bank. So I think GC board just pick from that bank that this is the one they're going to be printed for this session. So at that level, it doesn't have so much problem to leak. But again, there is that. This is where the problem is now. There are some chief examiners that have been in that particular subject for a very long period of time. They have that, mastery. They have that mastery. They have that mastery in it. Yeah. And take it from me or like it, we have all gone through secondary education.
Yes.
There are some particular subject that we went through that they will tell you that this very particular subject math or history.
The thing is, they will not even
this
teach all the sections in each topic.
And
two certain sections and teach that one.
And during that, let me say about 2 months,
yes,
when you notice that the particular lectures of that teacher is full, because they believe that this teacher is a chief examiner. He knows where to touch.
Yeah.
I don't even understand.
But
so
let us not
this is my problem. My problem is that sometimes they allow the chief examiner for very long in a particular subject. It plays a lot. Because when they stay long, it plays a lot. So this is something that you are supposed to come and leave, so that you don't stay there and master the system. So this is where I have a problem around that setting. Now another chain where I have a problem
yes,
is at the level of printing. Is at the level of printing, like Mr. Kikechi said, those people who are controlling that printing. Though at the level of printing, the way the papers comes out, it comes out upside down. At the level of printing, you that you are controlling it, you don't perfectly see where. At the level of printing, those who are in charge of those printing, they don't take gadget, they don't take this thing there. And at the level of printing, the tendency is that sometimes you manage millions of papers. Yes. It is difficult to memorize.
And
when they do the printing, this is where I have another problem. Yes. I don't know if they maintain the same people year in, year out. That's why I have another problem. Because if they are changing it
during printing, let me just explain
now,
something. We know very no.
Let me just learn with this level of printing. Ask a question. Now I still at a level of printing. I have a problem at level of printing because as it stands now, the GC board does not have a printing press.
Yes.
So everything becomes
That's why I
questionable.
wanted to explain.
Everything becomes questionable. The GC board does not have a printing press.
No, I'm not saying they have. Listen.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they do not have.
Yes, that's why I say that at the level of printing, not so.
Yes.
Where I know that the GC board prints papers, who hardly have those people master, because they don't even have time to be taking those papers and looking, because I don't want to call where they do the printing.
Yes.
So in most cases, the printing is even done by people who don't master those subjects.
Exactly. Then there are people who cannot read. Those who control the printing.
Yes.
There are those who cannot read. They don't understand. Yes. So they have been given the on the job training that hold this paper like this. Hold this paper like this.
And it is just
but now this is the problem that the person that launches the printing, the person is knowledgeable.
Okay, let me also get
all of us an incident. Saddam Hussein, of blessed memory, his soul rest in peace, was to be assassinated.
Yes.
And a check was made that no image was going to get out.
Yes.
But you know, the more technology has advanced, this my eyeglass could also have a camera.
Yes, yes.
And so as a printer,
Even what is nowadays.
it snapshots it. How before they could get out of the after killing Saddam Hussein, it was already all over now. So these are things that we need to rethink.
All those texts
You
are
see,
the way they are made.
I'm telling you, that if there was a check that could be done, the assassination of Saddam Hussein was one of those things that we could say that if they did not succeed to hide that information.
Yes.
Imagine the presidency of the republic, end of year speech are always leaked out now. Yes. So what are you saying? Because there are no cameras in the presidency. It means that the president's life is not safe for what are you saying? There are cameras that the linkages are always coming out. Am I lying?
There are cameras everywhere.
To understand that the solution to this is not the targeting students.
Yes, that's what.
The
Yes.
people who work in this, you make a very good point that the duration of somebody doing something somewhere
Yes.
will not be too long. It becomes a problem. Now the second thing is, Cameroon needs to go back to a system where all vote holders take oath, where they swear either by Bible or Quran.
Before they will
Yes,
not
so we have this.
before they will still not do the wrong thing. Before they will still not do the wrong thing. Before they will still not do the wrong
That's
thing.
minister, the lawyers, the lawyers are honorable persons, or what did they do that you saw that you say we have it?
I say we have calls and take oaths, but
Like the judicial call.
Yeah,
the judicial
Yeah. I'm saying that
the mayors.
and then secondly,
The parliamentarians.
If these people have to take any foothold at taking office, it's not going to take it in front of the staff. They take a primary school student and 10,000 take vote. You know why? The conscience of them, when children begin to question you about your integrity,
yes.
if you are falling short, you develop high blood because you look at them. They don't tell us you don't bribe them easily, right? Even though you can bribe them a suit in the house. But when they see this, you know, your conscience will always prick you to do the right because you are seeing several millions of children that see you as a man of integrity because you
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. Let me just ask a follow-up question. Yeah, let me just ask you, because there is somebody who is watching and really wants to know something here. I vigilated GC for more than 15 years.
Yes.
And I'm talking this with facts. That the relationship between these examiners, these chief examiners, and some teachers with the GC report is so close that this relationship causes a lot of mishaps. And during one of the years when I was there invigilating, it was discovered that some people at the GC, but they were caught where they related with some of these teachers and they sold out. They sold out question papers. And that's why with that report you hear of 50,000 francs. And it was very popular. It came out that they were buying those things for 50,000 francs. Is that not a very reliable chain that the GC board has to take note of?
Okay, no, like you said, remember that some of those examiners have schools.
Goods, yes, that
have
is it.
Schools.
Yeah.
And so, keeping the flag of their school high,
100%.
100% is very important. So the practice is not orchestrated by little children. But there's another cheating in the corridor that you people are not seeing. There's a student that will go and write her trash or his trash. But the godfather or the godparents has already paid for a brilliant paper to be written for her. And the time that they leave the classroom where the camera will not be there, that in that van that will be transporting it, that will be phone and sort out and then put the other booklet, which was written by somebody in the quarter for he or she. Are you seeing the ramification of the malpractice? So we are saying like that because we are already, all of us are already buying the idea that we are not trying to teach the minister, Professor Naloa, that there are some other areas that she might forget. She's only focusing on.
There are some little areas. Let me just, like somebody who has been there for long, and this one that I told you is something that at times officials of the GC, but their children who are writing or relative, they take this question paper and give them. And it happens when one of them one of the children also wanted to help their friends, and so it was caught, and this child had to reveal that it is the parent who gave him. That's one. The next thing is, at times the question papers are not enough. At the center, at that time, now they start sending people to rush out to go and photocopy.
Because the schools don't have photocopy machines.
These are the limitations.
These are the schools that have to run cameras.
During when we are invigilating. Now they send you to go and photocopy questions that students have to. That's why you see at times the start time, it is delayed a bit. It's delayed a bit because they have shared the question and it got short. They have to send to go and photocopy.
How come the question paper not enough? That is a complete camera system.
So
someone answer the technology, the printing, some papers come out blank, and since the printers are not supposed to be checking, you see, so it's
just going.
We check the list. This center that this guy giving you, this center has
some of the time.
And some of those papers, it's not necessarily because some are blank. Some of them are just short. Like it's not up to the number of
but as he asks, they are the one who compile according to the number of.
Mr. Mambo, what happens is
yes.
In a center, if they have registered maybe 100 candidate, and after printing the papers and everything, they come and say that it is 100, but you come in the hall, you are sharing and you see that it is 105.
Yeah, the late registration that sometimes
that one that has excess. No, the one that has excess.
Yes.
They have reasons for this, but the main problem is why should the question be short? And at times you have more than 100.
Yes.
You get it. And so when they are compiling or piling these things, they know that at this center for history, these are the number of students. You see, so we are saying all these things so that those who are in charge should be having this point and know where to do the right thing so that we curb these examination malpractices. That is what we are trying to suggest here. So
the solution, that examination malpractice, like I was saying, the mere fact that the board itself does not have a printing press puts everything into question.
That is it.
It puts everything into question. For how many years that the board existed? Since from 1993, if I'm not mistaken, they were renting structures. They now moved to their site and have a lot of vast land there. What is stopping the board?
That's where you have the problem, because that compound, that land is supposed to carry 3 offices.
Yes.
Where it's supposed to carry 3 offices. That the administrative block is there.
Yes.
We are supposed to have a printing
press until now, according to the plan.
Yes,
and the printing press has not been constructed till now. And
so
that is
going to sustain
how are they going to sustain the camera? So no, for the CC cameras, I learned it is the schools. They are personally doing
that
it.
Is it,
Yes.
And so they are
schools have not paid PTA teachers.
Yes.
So they are going
so now this is what I wanted to I want to learn about that printing press, because it becomes difficult to trace the questions that have been leaked.
Yes.
Now, because during who do you hold? Do you hold the workers of the said printing press? Do you hold those who were recruited to join the workers of the said printing press? Do you hold the staff of the GC board? So it becomes very difficult. So what I'm saying, that the first thing that I think about this thing to fight examination malpractices, they should have paused that installation of cameras, go there and construct a printing press first. Let's have people who are dedicated, so that when questions leak out, we know where to start from.
Okay.
Because it's very funny that 2 weeks to exams, 1 week, questions are already flying everywhere. 2 weeks, because I know GC board usually transport material questions to the center maybe about few days. few days, those questions move around.
But those that are far up, that
yes.
like other regions, it goes maybe 2 weeks to time.
No, they use plane and transport and
No, because they
have liaison offices. That's what I'm saying.
They have regional delegations.
Yes, they have regional liaison offices. So they transport and keep them there. Liaison office, who they assist their staff. Before now, few days now, those questions now they start moving. So I think, see, they installed camera in Boyaye. Is it traffic? Is it what? It was traffic.
Traffic light.
Less than 1 week, that thing did not work. It didn't work. So, and mind you, we have cameras that were installed in Boya, 60 cameras in towns. You know all the areas.
Yes.
But you know that even with this crisis, we were able to arrest one person with those cameras. And I hear there are plans to install another one again. I read this somewhere. I don't know how true is it. I don't know. Maybe you have seen it.
So
much money.
Because you go to Moliko, you find the remnants.
Everywhere. So I'm moving it down and see they are digging some holes around again. I hear they are to install cameras again. And those things are taking money. So it brings to the fact that we are not ready to manage technology.
Yes.
That's a problem. We are not ready to manage technology. In fact, the only things that work very perfectly is this in charge of is this Attic?
Okay.
Is it Attic? Yes, Attic.
Which is in charge of
that is in charge of tracking Antique, yeah. Okay. Tracking information on social media and telephone, all those things. I think that is the only sector in Cameroon that I think that is very, very effective. That if they want to touch anything on social media, you go to Attic, they will give you. There is nothing that people will do on social media in hiding.
Okay, let's look at these accommodation centers, where the load has been put on these accommodation centers, that they have to provide CC cameras and so on. And it is not the GC board nor the ministry that is going to sponsor this. Do you see it feasible?
Now, Mr. Mwambo, whether it is the Ministry of Secondary Education or each centers that are taking care of the camera, why they are putting this camera? Because, Mr. Mwambo, you need to know that the system of education now has been divided into two. How? 30% goes to the teachers, that is the instructors, and 70% goes back to the student. And if a student is in from 5 or opposite, or she knows that in his position he's having 70% for his success, and 30% comes from the teacher. But now I applaud the teachers that are teaching them, because the majority of them are psychologists. If you see my practice are happening, cheating are happening, the teachers have already studied these children and see that so this amount of children cannot be able to pass the exam or to have a successful grade. And you need to know that teachers are being graded in A, B, C, and a teacher will not withstand and see that a half of his class or of the subject that the teacher is teaching are failed. You see that during the grading, the teacher will be either graded B or maybe C. So now each teacher needs to keep its priority at least at A or B. So the 70% for the students, they need to manage it well. They have 9 months to be they have 9 months to be well equipped, and they need to know. That is why you see that malpractice happen, because this majority of the students don't manage their 70% well.
Okay.
And when they come even during normal tests that the instructor gives them in class, you see some of them will fail. And when they fail, it brings already a downgrade to that instructor.
Okay. Now let me ask you the question here. Most of these schools or the accommodation centers have to sponsor this thing. I don't know how expensive it is. Do you see that feasible?
Mola Mahmoud, before I come
Especially with private schools that are accommodation centers.
before I come to that, let me comment a little bit. I think there's a point which is syllabus, which is an underlying cause for what Overseer was articulating on. The syllabus is cumbersome. You have only the history, war, Africa, so it's a lot. The teacher can, even the teacher is to teach that in the next 9 months. So at the end of the day, that's why the teacher will have to just pick some topics.
No,
pick some
on that, like somebody in the field, let me explain what is it. Especially when Prof came, Madame Aluva came, he reduced some of this, especially on literature and English. Then secondly, all these things of world history, African history, they are no more there.
Okay.
Then yes, they have all been removed. Thirdly, it is the schools that have created this. The GCE syllabus begins in Form 3.
Yes, that's
in Form 3.
Of course, that's clear.
But schools who want to pass their time then teach the whole syllabus that is supposed to begin in Form 3 in the space of few months.
Form 5. Especially mission schools.
Yes, that is where mission schools, mostly these private institutions. You see, that is where the problem is. Because now they do it as business. They do it as business, and you have students who even come from second term, they know that they'll repeat all these things and so on. So these are messages that we are giving to schools and students and other. That
right.
If all these things are happening, then they are part of it.
Yes. Shared. Now talking about the cost, if I could tell you that it's feasible, then I'm lying.
Okay.
We're talking about schools that have not paid PTA teachers. These schools, they have a shortage of manpower. There's no gainsaying in that. We have labs that have not been equipped. These labs have not been equipped because the PTA is not able to meet up. At least for some of the schools. Some other schools, the principals have sat on the morning together with the PTA chairman and they are violently devouring it. I don't think it's feasible if the school is the one to handle this. Because now, first of all, there's the financial limitation. And then there are other technical limitations. We talk about the 100%. So if the school is the one carrying out this, the same school that is facilitating fraud, you think the school will put in place adequate measures to curb the same fraud that they are the ones carrying out the manipulation? Because these centers are headed sometimes by principals and the likes. So these are the same people that are in the chain of the malpractice. You think they will put in place adequate measures that will, at the end of the day, except they know very well that putting in the cameras will not affect the quality of the exams. If they are sure that it is just for fun, it is just a play, then they will put it knowing that the leakage takes place elsewhere. But I think if the finances goes back to these centers, then it will probably not be feasible. And I should also say that over these years, I don't know, or the GC board will tell us that they've been printing out those question papers at a very subsidized rate. I'm talking about the cost that parents pay in order to write the GCE, because we even see invigilators, markers on complaining that their money has not been paid or the money is insufficient. So it looks like it looks like the board needs a lot of money, even though students still pay a considerable amount to write the exams. I think the probably is a problem of money, because the printing press, it needs money, and it's not only a problem with the GCE, but it cuts across all educational sectors. Our universities, most of them don't have printing press. Even those that have something that looks, it is just like a scarecrow. It is yes, it does have 2 or 3 printers that they try to run one, but we go to other universities out of the country, you see they have state-of-the-art printing press. They're able to print out the various documents, because the university is all about, well, part of its core mission is research, and research has to be documented. That is where the printing press comes in. I think it's a whole issue in our educational cycle, this issue of printing press. It's one thing we've not taken seriously. We are setting up, we set up establishments, but without fully understanding the components that would make it function.
I think from the inception of the GC,
or maybe because the government to create the GCE board. Maybe that's why they've not put in place these mechanisms to make it
But
work.
do you see
And
that
maybe they
it's
might
more
even
than the states to finance?
come again.
Is it more than the state to
I don't
finance?
think it's more than the state to finance. We've seen they have borrowed a lot of money to build toll gates that are not functional. So what was more than them to use that money and build a principle? I just think that it's not part of government priority. It's because the government does not carefully understand how to actually, though they're talking about standardizing education, but they are not putting in place.
But you see them having this printing press solve this problem, because the printing press they are using, since the inception of GCE board, over the years, this printing press has proven that they are reliable. You've not heard the headlines, you've not heard. Please, listen. Don't argue something you've not heard.
Okay, Mola Mambo, give us the source.
At one time when this
cannot be reliable.
Please excuse me to something.
If
If you go, please excuse. Ubasi, please wait.
Okay.
When you go to this printing press, the first thing is you look at those who do the printing.
Yes.
You understand? So many of them are ignorant about these things.
Says who?
Now, at one time that because wait.
They are ignorant about the leakage. They are ignorant about the leakage of which things. I don't want to understand.
No, they are safe. They are
Please.
safe. They were canonized.
Let us not just imagine that no, it cannot be possible that they have been doing good job. But let's hear the points here.
Okay.
Because they too have been investigated. Investigations have been going on for more than a decade to get all this before they are even getting some individuals. Now, those who work there, they are not teachers, but just that at times they send people to like be there to see how they do the thing. And the fastness of those things, how they work, doesn't give them that time, because they are also supervised by other people. And they pack it immediately and it goes. Now, the next thing that they went where they started having problem is between relationship of these examiners and the GC board. That is where they started getting people.
That's why I indicated.
You see, that's where they started getting people. But that same principle has been investigated for long. So, but you see now that the relationship with these teachers and the GC board or the examiners, they caught people there. They caught in schools, because the law says when they reach in each class, what are they supposed to give the packet of the pack
The
students
to confirm.
Everybody. Then they say, "Sir, it's okay," before you open. But in some centers, just few years back, they realized that some packages were opened. Yeah, they have been tampered with. So we need to follow this thing and get certain.
Yes, Mr. Moderator. But we cannot totally say that the level of printing press, you cannot
100%.
100%. It cannot be 100%. I say it cannot be 100%. Yes, I know they have been.
But you're not talking by imagination. I'm talking of after all this investigation. If there
is corruption in the system,
if the system is totally corrupt, people by that
Yes. Remember that the first thing about contracts in Cameroon is business.
Yes.
It means that somebody in the system has decided that I give the printing of the GC papers, examination papers to this
person.
Against this
person.
Business.
It's business.
They will not allow that. It should be somebody should some other person. And so usually the big ones are making a lot of they share the books together. So you not expect that just tomorrow they say no, it's business and they protect their interest. We have seen institutions in Cameroon that are not performant, but they still keep on running the business. It is the only
investigators come and
institution has designation to do this because they have businesses. Even when the bank is bankrupt and maybe an institution money was there too, they'll still cover it because they don't want to change the bank because they know that this had happened.
Okay, we just have a few.
So
we are out of time. We just have. Normally, no, we are analyzing. I know normally, but we know very well that when we are talking of legality, you take what has been given out as is legal. That's how we conclude.
Okay,
now
the last few points we have here, we have just talked on sponsorship. How is it going to be possible since the independent centers are going to sponsor the cameras? Then the last point I want us to talk here is the chain of success. And during this, we call it a chain of success. But at times we realize that the success doesn't come because we have the children with their parents at home. We have the children with the teachers at school. And some of them, even other external classes that they attended, they come back at home. Now, where do we think this corruption of malpractices? We have talked of the other chain, and now we are coming with this one they call the chain of success. Where do you think these malpractices?
Malpractice starts from the school. When a student is attending a private class by the very teacher teaching the student, and the teacher is forced to always give a child, a student, a very pass mark because he's taking money from the parents.
Okay.
Now, and this continues to the pull factor, the push factor that push teachers to go in to even try to ensure that the students at the level of the GCE, since they are not in control, they want to get even those linkages. Because if you are teaching a from 5 student, private, giving him or she private classes at home, and your first fear is if he doesn't perform, you lose your contract, right? So teachers now become they are pushed to go beyond to they become what they call
like perform magic.
So that they will satisfy the parents. Most of the children that are going for private classes where teachers are from rich parents, and so you don't want to fail the child to. You have started cheating, putting the child to be on the top 3 level. Now the GC comes. If you do not follow up to see that that child has that low, to see that they have leakage, for the child to prove that he was actually, the parents will suspect you now that you are doing just pushing that. Understand? Yes. So you will find that most of these teachers who teach children at home, they first of all start by giving them exam in the house. They do it, then they come and do the very thing in class so that they pass well. So at the level of the GC now they are forced to do it so that the child will maintain that position that he or she has been proving that the student is very intelligent in class. Now the parents too, on their part, it's like a shame that a certain caliber of a personality, the child should fail the GC, become breaking news. So that those people they have money to unlock the doors. You understand? One other thing that I wanted to add before you round the curtains with the camera is that the feeling that the cameras are coming to spy on people is a challenge and needs to be. The GC board need to hold sessions of explanations to teachers, to students, and to all other stakeholders because there are big people that come to write GC, right?
Yeah.
So you can be like somebody is going to spy on the camera may be to spy on them. There should be some level of secrecy and privacy that will be protected, even though and that's why those who are going to monitor should be well selected. That it is not going to be given to examination centers. It will be given to the ministry should have the footage so that they can be the ones to be opening at internet, looking, not that people in the quarter will be coming to us.
Okay, Sinjo, let's look at the teacher-student relationship or school-student relationship. We have situations where the syllabus is not covered. And especially the private schools, they have a system where that they accumulate all this to teach these things in a very short time. I see this to be part of this corruption. How do you look at it?
I don't. Yes, most of the times the syllables are not always covered by teachers, and I think this problem has to be with the school administration because most of the time usually a gang up between the teachers, I don't know how they call it, is it class prefect, who take care of the text. Yes, it's a collaboration. Yeah, because I think I know at the end of every week, most of those record book, what they call text, are submitted with whether the discipline master whoever to cross-check. And the vice principal, beg your pardon, who's in charge of academics, go through to actually see. So there's a role. So, and most often at times, nothing is done. So it is something that is done by the teacher, but it's a click, because nothing is done, you know. And when this is not done, this now begin to nurse the aspect of fidgeting or idea of malpractice. They fear that, oh, we have not covered this particular syllabus. We don't know where exams is going to come from, and suddenly the idea of malpractice comes from. But again, that cannot completely solve, you know, this problem of malpractice, because in one or two situations you might have stubborn students, lazy ones who don't.
But don't you think that these offices should also have the blame? The divisional delegation, the regional, they go out to inspect schools. Now, when they check these books, they see that a topic has been taught at a very wrong time. Yes. Because a school that follows a curriculum, knowing that, okay, GC syllabus we have from 3, they start teaching it gradually, these students would have much problem.
Yes.
Don't you see some of these offices that go out for inspection have the problem too?
That is why I said it's a whole lot of change, because like what Mr. Kidisi was saying, and just what you were saying, that at times people come for investigation, people come for control.
Yes.
I mean, as you come for control, most of the time you end up being controlled. So that is a system. That is a system in Cameroon.
And that's what before you go, the principal must have made their envelope.
Their transport. So the moment they give you your transport, you know, I mean, you are weakening. You are weakening. The record is clean. So that's why I say most of the time they go for control. They end up being controlled. And we are still going back to their philosophy saying that investigation be done. Sometimes when you go for investigation, you are being investigated. It happens even with journalists. You can agree with me. Sometimes you go to investigative journalists, you go to find out information, you end up being investigated at the end of the day. So that is a system that we have that's very difficult to work. And so that is a change. And all these things that breed malpractice. And now he was saying something about the school taking care of the expenses of those camera. But I think what I know is that every examination, the board, all those schools that are centers, examination centers, the boards usually give them a stipend, which I think can cover the installation of those cameras. Because in the whole process of exams, the invigilators, at least they go of something, the chief examiner, the chief of centers, and even the institution they are using, they go on something. So I think from that stipend, at least they can take care of that that installation. So at least they have something that they can do something there.
Let me add something in there, especially when we're talking about private schools.
We are looking at the control
and the control from the stakeholders that have been put in place.
Yes.
Now, you see, let me give a clear example. Before you see, like during the 11th February, a display by one mission school in their march past, a letter of warning had been given them, but they went against the letter. The question is, why could they go against that letter? Impeaching, they say, Godas.
Okay.
They have people in high places. This is exactly what happens, especially with private admission schools.
And so it makes it difficult even for those who are controlling.
Yes. You go sometimes, these delegates, they are crying.
Yes.
Because
their hands are tied.
It's not in their hands are tied. Let me land. The school proprietor is not answerable to the delegate.
Okay.
It happens, yes. So you go and say, oh, this syllabus is what the person has a contact in Yaoundé that they can phone now. And you'll be in deep shit. So you cannot sanction them. All what you have to do is you keep on complaining, cry. Yes, these are the things which these mission schools and private schools sometimes put this and because they are connected so much to Yaoundé. There are so many of those proprietors we have even in Boya.
Okay.
There are schools, the proprietors or proprietresses, they decide how the syllabus should go. They invent, I should say, their own way of doing things, and the delegation cannot call them to order. So what do you expect the delegate to do? He wants to maintain his position. He does not go into, because if you go inside the fire, you will fail. So you better stay and begin to mind your business with your government school. So I think also the ministry, if we want quality education, we must be able, because these are the congested services of the ministry, we must be able to empower them such that they can carry out this surveillance of the schools that are under their jurisdiction. Because if these schools are not answerable to them, if these schools cannot take to their instructions, then at the end of the day, when everything goes south, you cannot blame them. I think it's very important to point out, because some of these school administrators have over the years been calling out even some of these proprietors, and there's nothing they can do because the proprietors are wealthy and money opens a lot of doors.
Okay, dear panelists, we should be concluding now with this, except we have something else to add with this question that I want all of you to attempt to. All these questions I've asked comes to two things. The first chain that I talked of, the chain of examination malpractice, that is from the GCE board to printing and all those. Then the last chain that we just talked of is the chain of success for these children, from home to school, school to home, and so on. Where is this problem coming from? We have talked about this. Then now the question I wish to ask all of us. This surveillance camera they are introducing, if we look at all the chains, who needs the surveillance camera the more? Yeah.
As I was said, you don't camera away of a student into competence.
Okay.
So the cameras, there's those who need it more, the most, are the invigilators, not the students.
Okay.
And the chief examiners, all those working in the chain, not the student. Because if the student had been well trained, had been well taught for 9 months, they will know that June coming, they will sit up well and they will write. Not that invigilators will be coming up and, because I will say that innocent students suffer from the hands of supervisors. Because when the supervisors catch a malpractice going on in a row, they penalize all the others. So what of those that are not in that part of
At times they penalize the
school.
Yes.
And what of those that are not part of report? So, whether you report or you don't report, you are already penalized by the minister. And I want to say something. We have been condemning here all rampant that the printing press. Please, we should not condemn the printing press. I want to take an example when I was writing the GC. Oh, sorry, not when I was writing GC. When I was one of the supervisors in 2022, I was privileged to be one of those who went to go and print papers. And in that school, in that center, they had their well-effective printing press.
A printing machine, a printing press.
When I say printing press, because there is a lot of activities. They sell, they do everything. So it is for the school, but they do everything in that place.
Because when we're talking about printing, there's just one that the GC boys. That
school sub printing.
A printing machine.
Yes, that only of printing. So there,
but they don't tamper with the question.
No,
there in the school.
No, they do not. They as we say, they were being invigilated, they were being supervised. Everybody that was there were well invigilated before anything happened.
Okay, Sinjo, also asked the question: who needs this camera the most? This camera is it the students? I've told you we treated the first chain, that the questions that are said and so on. The second chain now is the children and the school, the children they are home and so on. So looking at all this, who needs this camera more? If I talk of the camera, not like only the physical camera to be put there, but who needs to be investigated here more, or to be put right?
The examiners.
Let's begin. Okay, good.
The examiners.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the examiners, those at the printing press.
Okay.
Yes, because the truth is that the truth is that the mass cheating, the quality examination, it happens before the hall. That is where the problem is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not in any way ruling out that students don't fidget during exams. Yeah, but those who fidget during exams, most often at times are those who were not smart enough, who ears were not open.
Yeah, those who are just waiting for the last minute.
Yes,
because
yeah, those who
the GC officials are making us understand that these malpractices are being reduced because with statistics again, by the last year, they had just about 1,000. Just a bit more than 1,000 of those students who were caught for malpractice.
Yes,
which shows that it has really reduced.
It has, it has really reduced. That is true. But I believe that those who are caught red-handed at the malpractices are those who are not smart enough.
Okay.
Yeah, because the issue is that we have already been having leakages.
Yes.
But sometimes, more often than that, the board will just come and disclaim it. The paper was not leaked. You understand?
Yeah.
They will just come and play over it to deny just because they want to protect the credibility of the exams. Why not accept that this paper was leaked and bring those people, investigate and bring them to book?
Okay.
So most of the time, they just come and disclaim it. This paper was not leaked, but at the same time, you will notice that it was changed overnight.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, it was changed. So that's why we're saying that is the area that needs to focus.
Okay, KK, where do you think the blame comes from? Well, sorry, you did not handle the last chain. Yes, please.
Well, like I said before, I think those in charge should be more monitored.
Who are those in charge?
The examiners and
Okay.
the stakeholders that are at the forefront of setting the questions.
So they need they see the camera more than the students.
And secondly, there has been a drop, like you're saying, in
frauds, yes. Examination
malpractices,
yes.
Not because the GC board did some level of checks and balances to ensure that there's some malpractice, because the youngsters have understood that passing an exam is not what gives you success in life. Livelihood has not come. They look at thousands of people that are on the street with good GC 5 A level, 10, 11, and 10 A level, O level, and they start to ask themselves, why would I be taking risks to cheat an exam to pass and I will not have a job? That is why they have understood that there is no gain in taking risks to pass an exam which will not even give you a livelihood. Now, I want to end here, beg your pardon to end here, by first of all congratulating. I have not been on panel for the past since the 20 minutes was over, and so I want to chip in my own small words. I want to congratulate the authorities of the Southwest region, the chief in charge, the governor and his entourage, for a wonderful march past, and in all the 6 divisions we had very positive information, some stories that were breaking, showing that there's some level of stability, peace.
Everything is in control.
The crisis has been brought to a certain level of control, and not only that, but the fact that they too have understood the dynamics of participation, of bringing people to participate. I saw a very simple governor, a man who was down to earth, who was with people, communing with people at all stages to a certain level that you understand that I want to first of all congratulate him for being the Yole, the title of the Yole, that he has actually stood with the people for 15 years. And I want to also caution them that when an activity passes like this one, the evaluation report has to come fast. Evaluation should be done fast.
Okay.
They do not sit relaxed thinking that, okay, because the success story was visible, it means that everything was done well.
Okay.
So they should not leave things to chances. I'm saying so because I have been part of a sometime
organization,
a higher institution where I saw 11 February being prepared 1 year after, and stakeholders were crying foul that their prices of football, they'll give you a trophy, then the money will go to the team that lose. Some people are talking. I said, no, children do not need to hear such things. Why would the head teacher explain to the children that they won a trophy, which was given to them in public, but the envelope is not there to accompany it because of some kind of thing? So those kind of things happen because we don't get to evaluation of it. The project has an evaluation time, monitor, and then give you an evaluation report, so that you now learn from the best practices and then correct the challenges and constraints that you had making the
I think it's been a very enriching program today, and I must conclude among several things by saluting mission schools. I know I mentioned them quite often today. I happen to be a product of a mission school, and proudly so. The work they are doing together with government to ensure that the population of Cameroon receives quality education. So kudos to them. And also I must say that one of the things affecting even the exam is the infiltration of politics into our educational system. Some people who are not capable are put now in positions, they have oversight of certain things which if everything was normal, they should not be there, and we probably have seen better quality. Well, nonetheless, we want to salute the stakeholders of the GCE board for the work they are doing, while calling them and urging them to do better. And finally, it's probably a sad week for me, because later this week, Cameroon, one of Cameroon's iconic folklore artists, that's being go to the lake to rest. His funeral material I'm wearing, and so it will be a hectic week, especially in the Northwest region's capital, Bamenda, where we'll be joining thousands to lay this iconic Cameroon musician to rest. So it's been a good one.
We say, may the soul of this popular musician rest in perfect peace. At this time, dear viewers, we sincerely thank you so very much for being part of this program. I want to say, whenever we are there, please just try and be there so that we contribute for nation building. I've been Moderator Mwambo William. See you next time.
Hey, Royal TV viewers, your voice matters, and now we want to hear it louder than ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now, and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch. Interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality.